Hello, I'm Dr. PPP. I'm the celebrity guru and the marathon man. I'm the author of the upcoming book, You Are the Celebrity. I'm also the author of the upcoming book, Dynamo Diaries. I'm so excited. Yes, I'm super excited to introduce you consecutively third time all the way from Vancouver, Canada on the Celebrity TV for you, none other than actor, director, producer, singer, uh, and talk show host. The name of the talk show host is Viewpoints and Points to View, all the way from Vancouver, Canada, Patrick Walsh Vancrooner. Hello, Patrick. How are you?
I'm very good, Dr. How are you today?
I'm fantastic. Thanks for asking, and I really appreciate your presence. And you're going to share about spirituality. And before you share, let me share my viewer that you can ask any question to Patrick or to me about spirituality. So first 10 minutes, Patrick and myself will share about spirituality. Middle 10 minutes, Patrick and myself will answer your question. So send as many as questions about spirituality. So Patrick and myself are going to do best of our best to share to answer your question about spirituality. And last 10 minutes of the show again will conclude by Patrick and myself talking about towards the conclusion, and then that's how our 30-minute show will end. So without further ado, share your view about spirituality, because I know you have lots of notes you've written about spirituality. So share your view about spirituality. And meanwhile, my viewer keep asking the question to Patrick and me about spirituality. Go ahead, Patrick.
Well, spirituality is a pretty general, wide open statement about that. So tonight I wanted to be able to inform the public with viewpoints and points of view. We look at spirituality as a philosophy, a science, and in its application to our lives. So when we speak about spirituality, we're talking about the philosophical approach to our livingness and existence. While we can talk about spirituality in its own context by itself from different levels, I'd like to keep this platform in how it's applicable. So tonight on Viewpoints and Points of View, I want to read to you something as it applies to art. I just want to read something, and then we can open the telephones after we're finished discussing, and we can ask any questions that you'd like to ask on that. Put on my glasses for now. All right. My purpose in life is to forward communication that stimulates your desire to know more and learn the basis of attaining knowledge that serves you in your personal challenges in living. All life can be considered spiritual in nature because life is created by the Spirit, you. Poetic wisdom or philosophy is religious in nature when it is originated by you, the Spirit, and has a spiritual context to its message and meaning. Philosophy should be a reach and a journey into the realm of the unknown, to be made known through a scientific process that allows for a self-discovery of truth thought of, but not inspected to be fully realized. That process to me as a poet is looking at what is to be observed to bring a certainty of it in the symbolism of words that through poetic language can be communicated. When I say religious, poetic philosophy in nature, I mean its origin has as a spiritual purpose to bring to you principles through the knowledge within the wisdom of the message that can benefit you spiritually and practically in your life and to those that you want to share these poems with, or philosophy. Artistic creativity requires a high level of awareness and ability. Such beings forward the progress of man's thinking upwards towards spiritual freedom of expression and thought. It can serve a higher purpose to assist in the manifestation of new realities, desired to be attained by one and all. Art is an enemy to those who want things to be always kept the same, without meaning and purpose. Art, then, as a weapon, can pierce the heart of an enemy like none other. Use words, not bullets, to effect change. Use music to mellow the heart. Use dance to romance man into a poetic movement of motion to display the beauty we all hold within. And then we have a chance to begin again. Always in the moment, for in that moment is the creation of whatever is or will be, as it is not limited by time of the past or the future. For that is your responsibility of what will become or end. And I'll read you one little poem to open the dialogue. Awake, open, the way is within, to begin a journey, not of time, but through your mind. Thank you.
Wow, I really appreciate that. You did lots of homework, Patrick. Really appreciate that. And that was amazing, deep nuggets you share about spirituality. I really appreciate that. So again, my celebrity here, you can ask any questions. Next, after 4 minutes, we are going to taking your questions. So keep asking any questions and keep sharing this post. Right now, even you can share it. So somebody out of 7.5 billion people, waiting for this message. So sharing is caring. So keep sharing it. Yes, go ahead, Patrick. Share more view about spirituality, please.
All right. So because I wanted this subject to be about art, spirituality and art and philosophy, I wanted to be able to talk a little bit about the importance of artists in a culture or society. They forward the thinking, they forward the concepts that bring civilization into a higher standard of living for one and all. Everything we have in life has to be written through art, designed through art, created through art. Our emotions are stimulated through art. Then why is art not on top of the food chain? How come art isn't leading the way in our society and supported more than? There are reasons for this. Those who want to control society for their own personal gain, groups of certain classes of people in the capitalistic realm, cannot afford to have new ideas always changing things just when they have investments in certain structures, certain ways in which they want things to be in order to profit. When you have that kind of invested interest, you don't need philosophers, writers, artists, people of new ideas coming forward and always introducing change. It's too expensive. It would require a sharing of all what we have to our people across the planet. Because art brings about a future that is inclusive of all people. It brings about a quality of communication that allows for people to engage with each other, to stimulate and create, to help one another, and to help one another through the advanced ideas that young people bring forward in their young minds and spirit. So we must move art as a spiritual activity forward in society in every way we can. When artists put on performances, when they busk on the street, when they do writings and poetry and things that they don't normally get paid monetarily for, be sure to acknowledge them in some way, promote who they are. Give them some money if you can. It's very, very important. So Dr. PPP, we won't forget that. You are also an artist as a communicator. You find yourself reaching out to artists and people that are influencing others in a positive way. That vehicle is very, very important. It's an important platform. And you don't do it to take advantage of the artists or to try and embarrass them or any of that. That's why these types of shows and interviews are important. You find sometimes in the talk show that artists, celebrities are very much embarrassed, or they're talking about things that don't matter, but yet they have a deep well of wisdom. They're very successful, very spiritual, and they have a lot to offer. So Dr. PPP, I have to ask you, because I've been wanting to for some time, what motivated you at heart spiritually to be able to reach out to the artist spiritually, philosophically, the way you do?
Wow, such a deep question. So how do I start? I born in India. The street of my name, I mean the where I born, the street is known as Temple Street. Right my street there were two temples. So like if I go backward, look backward, like God chose the right place for me. My parents were like spiritual, and my grandparents. So like from generations, like the roots were there. Then of course I studied medicine, then came to Canada about 20 years ago. But the root, the base is always there, like unshakable. When there is base is strong, then doesn't matter whatever the monument you make. If the base is strong, of course the monument is going to be strong. Of course life comes in the way, but I never ever miss the faith, the love, and the seeking for the spirituality. Even though I was born in the Hindu family, but I've been to churches, I've been to mosques, I've been to gurudwaras of Punjabi faith, I've been to a Buddhist temple, I've been to Jainist temple. I talk to atheist people, and that search for spirituality is always there with me. And during my journey of 46, I'm 46, so during my 46 years of journey, I got like about seven moments. At that moments, I was about to die, and I don't know what happens. I survive. So whenever I comes out from that moments, I win the battle of life out of those moments. I always ask God, like God, like there are out of 7.5 billion people, why did you, give me one more chance? Why did you give me one more chance? And whenever those moment comes, and I ask deeper to my soul, body, mind, and then finally I found out my purpose. My purpose is like I found out that I'm the spirit. Doesn't matter, like the body, and people say Dr. PPP, people say Praveen, people say the celebrity guru, but those all are the titles are going to go away one day with my body, or within before even my body go, they are going to go away, right? But the spirit, the soul, is immortal. Like the soul is is never going to affected by the fire, it's not going to affected by the water, or it's not going to affected by the air, right? The soul is always there. The body changes like the way people changes their clothes, that's how the body changes, and it's changes the necessity. It should be there, always there. Even right now, like millions of cells are dying right now, and another million cells are creating. So change, you cannot change the change is the part of the life. But the soul, spirit, when you realize your soul, when you realize your spirit, and when you find out your purpose or mission, or why are you on planet earth, if you keep asking this question within, you will get the answer through the spiritual mentor, or digging deeper. When you ask this question to yourself, you will answer this question. So I found my questions answered, that why I'm on this planet earth. And that's the one thing to make you realize that you are the celebrity, that you are the soul, you are the spirit. Don't waste your life into like another things. Of course you need money, you need fame or everything. Yes, yes, it's part of life, because to pay your bills, or to live your lifestyle, yes. But lifestyle is not only everything. Find out who you are, why are you on this planet earth. Like there are like several million people, they didn't say today's sunrise. Today people are going to sleep, go to sleep, but tomorrow they might not going to say. But why then did you wake up? Why the supreme soul makes you wake up? So i- if you ask these questions, you will find you have bigger purpose than whatever you are thinking. Or if you find your purpose, then that's it. Stay stay on your course, and dig deeper, and like see, that's why, like whenever I meet, I don't see people as like their race or religion or sex or colors or nothing. What I see is like see spirit. Not all the time I'm able to see spirit all the time, but always I make sure that dissecting after race, religion, and everything, I touch your spirit, touch your soul. So that's how, like then I found this amazing medium, amazing medium. So because of this medium, like I can invite celebrities from all over the world, with their own time and my time, and don't have to be like physically with you. Like right now you are in Vancouver enjoying, maybe at your home or at your studio, and right now I'm at my home. I just created small studio, and that's it, right? And again, people are looking for a nice content. People are looking for nice people. People are looking for message, even though they know, but still they needed to be reminding, or some sentence out of this 30-minute show might going to hit them, touch their heart, body, mind, and soul, and that's it. So you never know which sentence, which word you're going to affect them deeply. So that's what about that. I hope I answered your question, Patrick.
I think you did. I think we've got to the depth of the rationale behind how you got set up. I, like you, I've been called upon to write my poems. I have somebody helping me put a book together with all my poems, because I can write poems like drops of water in the rain. It's very easy for me to do. Other types of writing and songs too. I can put on music and make up songs. And we have these talents, but I've been sitting idle with this talent, wondering where's the purpose with these things? What am I supposed to do with it, if anything? Because you get accustomed to just looking after your life as it is in the material universe and just surviving and dealing with issues. And so all of this is all coming together, my singing, my acting, producing, all of it's coming together, all new to me. It's not like I've been doing it for years for monetary purposes or any specific reason other than for some entertainment for myself and small crowds of people and so on. But now I'm being propped up into a platform whereby a lot of people want to talk to me and want to be involved in what I'm doing, want to assist what I'm doing, and so on. So I think you answered the question. This is a great venue for you to reach out to artists and to allow them to come forward and know that they're speaking to the truth from their heart. And you and I share this on our platform of communication. Viewpoints and Points of View is that very specific platform. It's designed to bring people together and to be able to have them just talk from themselves, not having to feel they need to perform or act a certain role or contribute to a particular entity in any way, shape, or form because they're getting paid for it. So this needs to be real. I wonder if I could share another poem with you, since I got so many of them here.
Please do, because this is one of your best gifts. So go ahead, sir.
I'll just open it up here. This is a little book I got. It's self-published, but I'm working on an actual book.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
A big one with lots of poems. That's my beautiful picture there. Yes.
Oh, wow, look at that.
And so let's just take a look and see if there's a poem for somebody there. If it touches somebody, I'll just open up and see if we'd love to hear from you. In my experience of living, am I able to bring forward my reality to experience it? Or am I limited by thought, action, and words to communicate that reality? So I'll read it again, just to make sure we have it. In my experience of living, am I able to bring forward my reality to experience it? Or am I limited by thought, action, and words to communicate that reality? As a matter of fact, I'm so glad I read that, because that was one of the main points I wanted to be able to communicate on your show, is that we start with thought. When you have thought, it's like, it's not tangible, it's just there. So it's very easy to just let it go. But that is the most important action you could take. When you have the thought, then to act on what the thought is communicating to you. Because the thought is who you are. The action is the carrier vehicle by which you can bring thought into the physical universe for others to share. Otherwise, why would we be alive? Why would we have a form to communicate through and with if it's not to communicate the thought that we are? So we should be very careful not to prevent our thoughts from being true. There's reactive thought, that's negative thought or chaotic or confusion. I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about that pure thought that has no mass to it. Just comes in, it's there, and when you learn to quiet yourself and be and communicate from thought to thought with a higher cellular mind that's able to communicate at that level, and you focus in on that, you are now in a unique space of your own. Nobody owns that but you. That is your serene place. That is where you belong. That is where you truly need to live. The rest of it is an effect that we cause in order to enjoy mankind and all the life forms around us, and to bring that thought and that spiritual energy into a material platform, to bring that into a platform so that we can engage one another. And I'll tell you, that is so beautiful, because you can take thought at one level of reality, and then once you communicate through it with others and you start putting it into the physical universe and bring it into ourselves, the cells come alive and they love it. They live, they thrive for that. A lot of people don't die because they're dying. They die because they don't engage life. They don't allow thought, they don't allow the spirit energy that they have in order to connect with the beautiful spiritual cell that we have that is totally dependent upon that energy and communication. Right now, no matter what you're going through, no matter what age you are, no matter what your physical condition is, your living cells can live and communicate to you with thought. And if you connect the two, all of a sudden the barriers that you have in your body, the traumas that you've experienced, the challenges that are in the physical universe where you feel you have to be able to go from point A to B in doing something in order to be meaningful to anybody. Or if you have the wrong concept, meaningful to yourself. You don't really need to have that as a condition in order to be alive, to be free in your thought, and for the cells to thrive. And if you connect that, you find that your healing process, that your happiness, that your willingness to go on, you have there, it can still be there, and your journey can have value. And then when the body is ready to go, it's not a painful experience. Pain is caused by a neglect of yourself, whether you're ill, whether you're strong and wealthy. No matter where you are physically, pain is a neglect of yourself spiritually and a true thought that you are, on what that thought is trying to do to make a breakthrough to your own heart, to your own selves, to bring that life in. And when we get older and we no longer are able to work, or we're retired with money that's supporting us materially, you are still dead. You are still in poverty. You are still going to have severe challenges if you don't understand the principles of what I speak.
Wow. Wow. Again, you can ask, yes, this my celebrity viewer, you can ask any question to Patrick or me about spirituality. And whatever Patrick knows about spirituality, or whatever I know about spirituality, we would love to answer your question. So please do ask any question, right? So don't be just, I know lots of viewers actually, they join with us. Let me recognize them. Yes. Okay, let me see.
Hi, Sam.
Yes.
Ask me questions, Sam.
Yes, exactly. Yes, don't be.
Sam, I know.
Don't, yes, exactly. I know. I appreciate your watching, Patrick and myself. But ask any question, because you never know. You've been waiting for these questions answered for like all your life, and you never answered.
Hi, Linda.
Right. So absolutely. And again, Patrick or myself are not claiming like we are the genius about spirituality, but whatever we know a little bit about spirituality, we'll talk about that. So at least let's open the floor. The floor is open for you. Please do ask any question, because
This is your opportunity.
this is your opportunity. Absolutely, that's right.
There may be hundreds of people or 50 or whatever, but there is a message that you have by asking a question. If you're sitting there and at heart and you're saying, I'd like to ask a question, but I don't know if it's going to be relevant or it's not really important or whatever, don't invalidate yourself. Don't deny yourself that, because you're denying somebody else. It may not be for you the answer to that question. The question itself may be a question somebody else is having that hasn't come to their awareness of self yet, but they're being at effect somewhere in their life. They're having trouble, and that question will go to that subconscious or at a different level of reality. And you're going to stimulate that. So don't hold back your questions or comments. We would like to have your comments and repeat them on the air and send a message out to people in the universe. It'll be recorded and then it'll be played back over and over and over again, your question or how we answer it. And that's your gift. Money will come and go, things will come and go, but your words of wisdom, your thought, your heartfelt emotions and feelings, when they're recorded and when they have an imprint on somebody's life, they're there forever. So I hope you have some questions to ask, some statements to make, and we'd love to be able to be the vehicle by which you can do that.
I totally agree with you. When I was in Canadian Army, our professor or sergeant used to say, no question is a stupid question. No question is a stupid question. I still remember I did this training, I don't know, maybe about 20 years ago, but I agree with you, because your question, you have no idea is going to help somebody other side of the world waiting for this answer. And he or she has the same question, you have no idea. And again, Patrick mentioned nicely, because this is already recorded, so your question is like immortal basically, so yes.
While we're waiting for a question, I'll read another poem. And
sure, why not? Absolutely, go ahead, Patrick.
While looking, you cannot see. Within I am, yet you, sorry, let me do that again. While looking, you cannot see. Within I am, yet you do not know. Outside I exist, but you cannot find me. From where do you perceive to locate the spirit of who I am? And I'll read it again. While looking, you cannot see. Within I am, yet you do not know. Outside I exist, but you cannot find me. From where do you perceive to locate the spirit of who I am? Each one of my poems has a spiritual message or meaning to it. Do you ever find yourself where someone's talking to you, you're talking to them, but you're not really talking to each other?
True.
Many relationships are like that. You have husbands and wives, fathers and daughters and sons, teachers and students, politicians and the publics, doctors and their patients.
Absolutely.
And you seem to have more communication with your cat or your dog than you do with each other.
Or with the TV even, in the family members, a family of 4 or 3 or 2 or 5, everybody's connected with the TV, but they don't connected with each other sometimes. Like, oh my gosh, no wonder, you spend whole lifetime and you're not connected with that person. I totally agree with you.
So that poem represents symbolically how a lot of people feel as a being that expresses that reality. I'm a spirit, yet you do not see me. My body you perceive, but you know not where I am. Follow? So if you're in front of somebody and their body is in front of somebody, understand its cells, its mass, it's a body. But you're talking to a soul. You're talking to a person. They want to hear from you. When you're done the show tonight, what spirit, what soul, what heart did you not communicate to that's out there waiting for you to communicate to them? Who is wanting to communicate to you? Don't let your images and your past experiences of what has been with those individuals or what's going on in your chaos of life, and where it seems like all that matters is our work, our challenges, our phones, our computers, what's important, but when it all boils down, is the soul. We live here together. It's a wonderful miracle that we have come together. We've chosen to be here with each other. You just didn't end up here. I'm really honored that you decided to be here with me and listen to what I'm saying. I truly am. I want to acknowledge that with you. For those of you that are listening and those that will listen later, if you're not live, thank you for looking at the show and like it and send it on for others, because there may be a message in it for them. So we are here. So what are we going to do?
Okay, absolutely. We are almost the end of the show. 30 minutes are done. So let's conclude our episode. So do you have a last minute message?
Sure. I just want to look at my poems, and it
Sure.
might be the poem because I want to get them recorded because they're nice poetry. And let's see in closing. Hi. Let my thoughts caress the minds of wanting souls to fulfill their desire for me, a thirst for knowledge that what can be is in the desire to become. So, we all have knowledge. I want to thank you all for having us on tonight, this special time. Looking forward to communicating with you next week. If you have a topic or a subject, if you have a whole group of people that you would like to have a discussion on a subject or topic, and you want to bring it to the attention of Dr. PPP, then he will be sure to communicate that to me so that I can think about it, contemplate on it, and prepare myself to engage you in that communication in the future. So thank you very much. Have a lovely night. We'll talk to you.
Patrick, thank you so much for your valuable time. And I know your knowledge about spirituality is so deep. Sometimes even I couldn't get it. I have to really, put like 1,000% attention to get your poems like so deep. Like, how did you, come up with like such a deep poems about spirituality and about, you can just create poems just like that. Really appreciate that. So thank
Yeah.
you so much. Yes.
Oh, it's not coming up with it. It's a flow. It's like in the moment I speak and the words of my thought. I speak what I should and what I should not. If it's right or if it's wrong, it'll be in the music. It'll be in a song. For what I write, there's vibration that we will all know, and we'll talk about that again on another show. So it's just, poetry is a communication. Poetry is a communication. If you sit down and you practice a little bit like that, I just wanted to leave the audience with a little example like that, and you allow that poetic language in the brain to be able to come forward and spiritually to come out, anybody can be a poet. But you have to start out with some rhyming, you have to start out with some feeling, a message that you would like to communicate to somebody. It's a different intelligence of a way to communicate. So it's just natural.
Wow, absolutely. I appreciate your gift and sharing your gift with my celebrity viewer. Again, I appreciate my celebrity viewer, my celebrity fan for watching the celebrity TV. And again, Patrick, you came consecutive third time on the celebrity show every Monday, 6 p.m. Vancouver time or 9 p.m. Toronto time. Patrick and myself will be on air on the celebrity TV as well as points viewpoints and points to view. That's Patrick's talk show.
Dr. PPP, I want to say I always leave with blessings to you for all the work you're doing and reaching out to people and bringing them on your show. I'm looking forward to seeing you next week.
Absolutely. So let's say thank you very much for our viewers. Some of the viewers let me mention: Anne, Linda, Michelle, Cristobal Cora, and Elvira, and lots of you. I really appreciate on behalf of Patrick and myself for watching this. Please do share it, and also please do comment it. Even though like you are watching the not the live, you are watching the recording. Still, you can share your comments, and Patrick and myself will do our best to answer your question about spirituality. Let's conclude with this: believe in your wildest dreams. Don't let anybody steal your dreams. Just do it now. If Trump can win, so can you. You have the celebrity life. You are the celebrity.